Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about narcissistic fathers, father and son relationship. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So the first sign of a narcissistic father is that these fathers are huge influence during the childhood, and the children idealizes them, and they are like an idol for the children. But as how the children grow up, they begin to see the world, they begin to understand things, so things change. Yeah, their idol also changes. Initially these children might want to become like their father, like their narcissistic father, but with time their idol changes. They idolize someone else. They begin to see that this is not what I want to be. I want to be, something else. I want to be my own self. So there is a lot of shift that happens. So initially these fathers are, huge influence, but with time it fades away, it changes. Or maybe we can say that since the child is very young, dependent, the child has to think the way how the father wants them to think. I mean, the narcissistic father. And that's how things are when you are with a narcissist. Your thoughts are controlled, your desire, emotion, everything is controlled. What you need to do, what you need to wear, how you need to eat, what you need to eat, everything is, under control of these narcissists. And if you don't do what they want you to do, you know what is coming your way. That's how things are with narcissists and with these narcissistic fathers. So there is a shift that you can see. Initially, the fathers might be like a hero, role model, but later on things change because kids understand, kids see, observe, things change. So the next sign that you can observe is that these narcissistic fathers teach a lot of maladaptive behavior to their son, and how they need to approach to the others. So first they are going to teach their son that don't trust other men, see other men as competition. Other men are going to hurt you and going to take away your things, whatever you have or whatever you possess. Never let women see your weakness or see your emotions. Don't cry in front of others, that is a sign of weakness. Suppress your emotions. uh, if you are the head of the family, you need to learn how to control the female and the other family members, because men are dominant, men are supposed to control, and that's how things are. So a lot of toxic things and maladaptive things that these narcissistic fathers teach their son, and that really spoils their son's life. That really conditions them to be a toxic replica of the narcissistic father. And these sons, they don't land up having a good marital life. There is a lot of challenges, complications, there is no happiness. It's all about earning 9 to 5, having sex, reproducing, waiting for the death. That's it. There is no enjoyment, there is no exchange of ideas, thoughts, expressing your vulnerabilities, because these sons are not conditioned to be themselves. And the credit goes to the narcissistic father, because the narcissistic father sees them as an extension of them. Yeah, and they don't need to have autonomy and individuality and their own uniqueness. No, they need to do exactly the way how the father wants them to do, and that is how it is with these narcissists. So there is a lot of maladaptive behaviors and things that these narcissistic fathers teach their son, which in a way destroys. I don't think it helps in any way. I have seen children suffering. So that is the second sign. The third sign of a narcissistic father is that the father is very adamant, and father has got strong decisions as to how many children the son will produce, how many sons the son has to produce, how many daughters the son has to produce, because this narcissistic father wants the legacy to go on. Even though, if there is nothing to have a legacy about. We all are human beings. Those who want to procreate, they can. Those who don't want, they don't. That's how it is. But as it is, they have this sense of grandioseness. They are the one, and the legacy should go on they are in that state, so they want their legacy to go on, and they decide how much, when, the son needs to produce. It's like a further extension of their ego. It's like a further extension of their own self. Earlier it was the son who was an extension. Now the branches are growing. Now the grandchildren are going to be added into the circle, and they are going to be the supply, and this narcissistic grandfather or father gets, opportunity to train them as well, the way how he trained his son. So these narcissistic fathers, really impose a lot of, different kinds of ideas, what the son needs to do, what is wrong, what is right. This is absolutely based how these narcissistic fathers feel. This has got nothing to do with, worldview and, in general opinion of people. This has got nothing to do with that. Narcissists are selfish, they are self-centered, and, they want their extension system to become an independent ecosystem where they can thrive and everyone can keep on acting as their supply enabler. And that's how things are with these narcissistic fathers. So they take the lead in deciding when the son should have a child or when the son shouldn't, and how much children the son has to reproduce. So these fathers, try and take the lead. The next sign of a narcissistic father is that these narcissistic fathers live through their son. What these narcissistic fathers failed to do, son has to do it. Whether the son likes it or not, the son has to do it. Whether the son is capable or not, the son has to do it. Whether the son is at all in that state or not, that hardly matters. The son just has to do what the father couldn't do. The son has to fulfill the father's dream. Yeah, so the father doesn't take the responsibility of fulfilling his dream. The father reproduces, and then father expects the product to fulfill his dream. That's how things are. Because these narcissists don't have empathies, be it their wife, be it their son, daughter, whatever it is, in whatever dynamic you're talking about or whatever setup you would see and observe. These narcissists really don't care how you truly feel, what you truly want. No. If you are a family member, or if you're related to them, you have to be their supply, and you have to do things the way how they want you to do. They get to decide. You don't have autonomy over your own self. It's quite suffocating. It's quite difficult. It destroys the confidence, the willpower. Everything gets destroyed when you are with a narcissist. There's so much of gaslighting involved, manipulation involved. You begin to feel as if this is how the world is. You begin to hate people, you begin to hate the world, you really begin to hate your own self, and you always feel that you're not good enough. So that is the deeper level of impact that can be observed when you have a narcissistic father in your life. The next sign that you can see is that the father gets to decide what the son needs to feel, and what emotions the son needs to have. The son is not given the autonomy to feel the way how he wants to feel, because it's very a kind of a control environment. So if the son wants to cry, he's not allowed to cry. If the son wants to be good, he's not allowed to be good to the mother or to the sibling or to his wife, because then the father comes into the scene and then educates, further inject toxic ideas and further conditions the son in the wrong way, saying that no, you can't do that. If you're feeling that way, that's not right. You shouldn't feel, you shouldn't have empathy. No, you shouldn't feel compassionate. You shouldn't feel sad. You just have to put up an image that you are strong and you are infallible and you're someone who takes the lead. You cannot cry. No, 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 no. And you cannot sympathize with your wife. You cannot sympathize with your siblings or sisters. No, that's not how men should be. So there is a lot of this toxic masculinity that is seen, and that is what is taught by these narcissistic fathers to their son. And these narcissistic fathers are not emotionally available. They invalidate. Son, you are not thinking right. This is not how it is. This is not men should think. This is not what men should do. So, do's and don'ts are there. There is an entire manual that is read out and given in the hands of the son, that son, you have to do this in order to be a good man, like me. Yeah. even though later on the son doesn't wish to be like his father, the son lands up hating his father, because he's seeing world, he's understanding what is toxic, what is not toxic, what is good, what is not good. So I mean, but the father keeps on doing it because he feels entitled, because he has given birth to the son, and the son has to think exactly the way how the father wants him to think. The son is not allowed to think and behave and feel the way how he feels or thinks is right. No, that's not the thing. The next thing that you can observe with these narcissistic fathers is that these narcissistic fathers won't hesitate in ignoring the son as well. Yeah, if the other childs are acting as a better supply, if the other childs are more obedient, then they don't mind discarding the son. They would ignore, silent treatment, invalidate, gaslight, ignore, minimize, a lot of things they're gonna do. So if the other sibling takes the role of being an obedient child, then in no time this son is also discarded, because the entire idea of these narcissistic parent is that they want things their way, and whoever agrees to their way, they are their good supply. Whoever disagrees, not good. They need to be kept aside. And the last sign that you can see and observe with these narcissistic fathers is that these narcissistic fathers compel you, force you, and insinuate you to take sides, yeah, against the mother, the sister, the wife, the daughter. They want their son to sideline with them. They want their son to stand up with them, and if the father is against the daughter-in-law, the son also has to be against the daughter-in-law, against his wife. The son cannot be in favor. So the last sign that you can observe is that these narcissistic fathers encourages their son. They encourage and insinuate and pressurize their son to take sides with him against his mother, against his sister, against the daughter-in-law, daughter, whatever. So if the father doesn't like his wife, the mother of the son, the father would want the son to take sides with him, yeah, and gang up against the mother. If the father doesn't like the daughter, the father wants the son to have the same viewpoint and opinion. And if the father doesn't like the daughter-in-law or anyone, let's keep it very simple, whoever the father doesn't like, the son has to think and behave and feel the same way. The son has to stand up with the father, and that is how things are with these narcissistic parents. And in this video we are talking about narcissistic father. So yes, they want the children to take side, their sons to take side, and they make sure that they force their son to choose a side. Well, you want me or you want your mother? Whose side are you at? These narcissistic fathers, they as it is feel so entitled that they think that they are the center of the universe, and they are the most important person in the family or in the child's life. Mother had just the role of having sex and producing it and feeding and doing all the household work, that's all. But the most important connect and relationship is with the father, because they feel so entitled, superior, and they have a lot of contempt towards anyone and everyone. And as I keep on saying in my other videos as well, that contempt is a soul killer, and that's how these narcissistic fathers are. So these are a couple of signs to observe with these narcissistic fathers, and that's how they behave and function with their son. In case if you would like to add in something, you are free to comment below, and like, share, subscribe the channel. And I would request you all to say no to toxicity, say no to abuse, and in case, stay away from narcissists. Don't get into relationship with narcissists. But some of us have narcissistic parents. We don't get to choose our caregivers. We can't do much about it, but try and draw a safe boundary. Learn ways how you can balance out things, and keep your sanity intact. That's the best that you can do. or else if it's very difficult to cope up with or very difficult to bear and be in such relationships, then leaving the relationship is the best option. Yeah, so please take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.